Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All Educational Videos and Tutorials. In this video today, we are going to learn how to change the position of sprite in Scratch, but this time with code. In previous video we have learned where in editor you have to click and type, and these are the fields for that, X and Y, and this time in this video today we are going to see where to find the Scratch blocks to do that with code. I said where because not how, because there are lots of those blocks and I have explained them in details in previous videos of blocks, Scratch blocks explanation. I will put the links below to see how to use them and where in some kind of game development situations, but today the accent is mostly on just showing how many of those are and maybe some simple examples, and again just to try to explain how there is a huge difference if you and when you define your game here in code, in editor on your right and with the code here on your left. The code is interactive. The code will be put in some algorithms, in Scratch blocks, in some conditions, in some questions, if, else, and so on. And the editor here is to put hard values, hard-coded values set in stone, and they will be here. If you type these numbers, they will never ever change until and or if you change them by code. But if you don't have a code or don't have interactions, whatever you type here, it will stay forever. So that's the big difference. And again, sometimes you will have to define some of these fields here for position, size, direction, and so on for some of the sprites you have on the screen which will not move, and that's cool. That's it. You just type the numbers here, drag and drop until you find the numbers you need, and leave it like that. If those sprites don't move, you don't have to worry about them, but if they do, then you will use code. Okay, so the code for position, for changing the position in Scratch, is in motion group of blocks, which is a blue circle, which is represented by blue circle. So click on this. If you're somewhere here, click on the motion circle, and the blue blocks are what we need today. We want to change the X and Y, so let's try to find some blocks which do that. I see this one. Go to X and Y, then glide, then change X, set X, change Y, set Y, X position, Y position, and I think that's it. X position, Y, set change, point in direction, okay, glide, okay, go to, and that's, I think it. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8 blocks. I will zoom them to see it. And again, these circle oval blocks, when you click on those, like X position and Y, you can read the numbers right here and see where is your sprite on the screen. So for example, if I hide this muffin and for this button, I can see that X position and Y position of this green circle is right at the middle of my stage of my game, 0, 0. That is the middle of the stage. muffin is not on 0, 0 because, as I said, it is a custom-made sprite which doesn't have its pivot point in the middle. I will not explain in this video how to change that, and also because it would take a little bit more time and explanation, and it was much easier, I think, to do that in previous versions of Scratch, the older one. But you can click on costumes and you can see this cross here next to the muffin, how it's, I think it represents the pivot point, the point of center of your sprite, the point of rotation of your sprite, and where the X and Y is counted from. So you can see it's not in the middle of this sprite, but for the circle, the green circle which we have used to find the center of the stage, you cannot see it because I think it is in the middle of it. We can maybe delete the part of it so we can see it. Yeah, it's right in the middle of it. See, so that is why this circle, I don't know if there is undo, yeah, that is why this circle is fixed to the middle of the stage when we press 0, 0 for X and Y, and the muffin has the problem of a little bit of the way. Okay, we have learned that also, which is very important, and I will make a new video about it maybe. But for today, for example, I can, for example, if I play this game, like for example, we have a multiplayer and those bugs are running, and this one will be first, this one will come here, and so on. So this is how the game ends. The left bug will win the game like this, yeah, and that's it. So that's all cool, but when I restart the game, the bugs stay on the screen. I don't want to do that. I want to have them on their starting position. So I want my bug to be here, 0 for Y and minus 198 on the X. I can read that here because whenever I click and drag these Scratch sprites, you can see how my X and Y values change, and you can also see how those values change here on my left in these blocks. Go to X and glide to, because Scratch is helping me. He is trying to remember all of those blocks. They change it, its value. Just check, don't look on the screen, just click and drag wherever you want on the screen, but look at these values here on your left with X and Y changing here. You see how those values change, and that's very useful, for example, because if I want my bug on the right to start here like that, when the game starts with 0 on Y and 198 on X, I would just have to say okay, go to X and Y on those values when the game starts. Same with this left one, go to minus 198 and so on. So now if I play my game and this is how it ends, this time the bottom one wins. When I click on go on green arrow to restart again, because I have added for the left and right bug, I have added go to X minus 198, they will snap to their starting positions. So check the screen now. Simple as that. So they will start every time like that, because I said go to X 198 and Y 0, just like that. So I can even make them fight, start, and so on. So that's what I wanted. I have to do that for those two, top and bottom also, but I'm not going to do that today. Also, let's check some other blocks just to see maybe another simple example. That's it. But in short, you can go crazy with this. You can go and combine this with variables. So I can, instead of X and Y, which are here typed with numbers, I can put variables. So this is how I can snap to some player variables, or glide, or set X and Y position, and so on. The same, this one go to X and Y, that block will snap you in instant. But the same thing is done with this set. So I can, for example, say set X and set Y when the game starts for the beetle, which is at the bottom, this one. So set X and Y. Okay, so when I play the game and it ends like this, restart it. So set X and set Y is like snap my sprite to the value of X and to the value of Y. Left, right is X, up and down is Y. Change X and Y is also very useful for games. For example, of when I'm going to use them, I can define, for example, controls with when left arrow is pressed and when right arrow is pressed. I want my beetle to go right is positive and left is negative, so go 10 pixels, 10 steps. So now when I press my button, my bug moves. Simple as that. So you already have a game. So that's, for example, one you use for that. But we could, for example, make very complex game, like maybe a quiz game. So we have some quiz questions, and if the player answers the question, then move the beetle to the right if the answer is true, if the answer is correct, and else if the answer is not correct, move the beetle back. So this, again, very simplified, would be some kind of code where you would have to put some kind of question here in this field, and then depending of that question, if the question is answered correct by player 1, move it one step further or closer to the goal, to the muffin. So you could make a very complex game. Maybe we can do that in some kind of tutorial. That was change Y, change X, set Y. Glide is cool because glide is like animation, moving, gliding to some position. So for example, I can make this button, this beetle, sorry, yeah, or maybe when the game starts we want to make some kind of if we don't have, for example, if we have a multiplayer game, but if there are not all 4 players online, we can make Scratch program to mimic the players by code to like some kind of simple AI and say, okay, when the game starts, if there are not players on the screen, then glide to position, glide to position. Okay, and which position? The position of, yeah, this one. So I will drag and drop this one here. So what am I doing here? I will not use this if block. I have deleted it because I don't have time to make a code which will check if there are 4 of players online and so on. We don't have time to do that. We will just say, okay, when the game starts, I want this bit to start like here, x0 and y 136. Okay, it's already here somewhere. I have just to find it. Okay, here it is. Go to x0 y 136. Then maybe wait for 1 second just to give the other players, or 2 seconds, some chance, and then glide 1 second to the position which we have checked here. So look what happens now on the screen. First, bug will start with the position which we have defined here with go to x. It will point in direction 180, meaning go look to the bottom, then wait for 2 seconds and then glide, and it will look like someone is playing and trying to touch the muffin. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the screen. Yeah, so maybe a little bit we have to move it a little bit up. We don't want this bug to win, this AI bug, but I hope you guessed how it works and what you can use this and how you can define the coordinates with the code by these scratch blocks here with go to, set x and set y, and then later you can use these move or change to change the position interactively, and that's how you can code the controls, code the AI, or whatever is needed for your game. Again, this is a very 20 minutes already. This is a very complex and big topic, and I will link the videos which I have made for these blocks earlier, but in short, you're going to use them and use these x and y coordinates a lot, especially if you want very precise games, or your games depend on precision. So for example, also if you play a chess, you cannot put a chess piece between 2 fields. It has to snap to field. You cannot put a pawn or a knight or a rook or whatever on white and black square. Between them you have to put it either on white or black. It cannot be on the edge. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you in next one. Bye for now.